Hey, this is Dustin Phillips. We're doing a Shootin the Bull episode here at the Bull Bay headquarters with the notorious Captain Mike Goodwine, Blackneck Adventures. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the top guides in the west coast of Florida. Best cast net thrower. The dude cooks ribs. He used to skate. There's all kinds of stuff. We're gonna talk a little bit about how he got into fishing and a little bit of what he does now. And here we go. So, how's it going today? Good?
It's going good. And we had some, I'm the only black captain in Tampa Bay, so that's
quite an accomplishment.
Yeah. You search black captain in Tampa Bay, I about to pop up.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy because I never really thought, hey, looking for that, but when you say that, it's like, yeah, there's not. And I'm wondering, obviously fishing's evolving and changing and stuff, and you see, there's a couple people we work with outside of Tampa, but it's still it's interesting to see the fishing industry kind of in the middle of some changes, and you're getting more involvement with kids. Like, you're seeing it a lot more. It's pretty cool to see the not just old white guys fishing and salting. And
it's a bunch of it's all kind of races out there fishing. Fishing is for everybody, but it is a fight. When I'm out on the water for a full-time charter captain, I'm the only one. But there's some other black fishermen out there that kills it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm trying to encourage, one or two to get their license or whatever. But, I don't even know how I got here, dude. I just was fishing one day and now I'm a charter captain.
Well, let's talk about that, because knowing you a little bit, you used to skate, right?
Yeah. So
how did you get into skating, and when did that kind of transition from skating to fishing? How did all that come down?
Well, skateboarding is my first love, but my body won't let that be my first love. So I skateboarded all my life, man. And, I used to bass fish also, but skateboarding and bass fishing was my thing. And then after hitting the ground, man, when you're an old man like I am, laying on the ground thinking, oh, man, why am I doing this?
Right.
It ain't worth it. So started fishing more, and like I said, I was freshwater fishing, chasing bass,
right.
AKA ditch pickles. That's what I call them. And it got boring to me. Yeah. Not that bass fishing is boring. It just got boring.
You're gonna have some people come at you for that one.
Yeah, it got boring to me. It ain't boring because I love it, and I started out bass fishing. It's just you chasing the same old species, and
saltwater's a little bit different. You can run all over the place. There's 10 different species. You might catch a bunch of catfish or redfish or snook. A lot of catfish.
It ain't no telling what you're gonna catch.
Yeah, that's true.
I was just filming not too long ago. A couple of weeks ago, I was trying to catch reds and hooked into the biggest harpoon of my life.
That's awesome.
You never know what you're gonna get. But bass fishing,
you should know what you're gonna get.
You should know what you're gonna get, and you got to be on top of your game bass fishing. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was good, and come to find out, I really wasn't as good as I thought. So I'm competitive. So, I kind of made that transition away from bass fishing because.
So when did you get into saltwater fishing?
I got in saltwater fishing. It was 2010.
Okay.
2010. I had a Skeeter bass boat, and I sold it. And I was looking for another boat. I was looking for a bass boat, actually. Right. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a flats boat. Mm-hmm. That way I could do both.
Right.
And I got the flats boat and went saltwater fishing and never looked back.
There you go. So you started freshwater. So your dad gets you into freshwater fishing? Because I know he likes to fish.
Yeah. Right now, as we speaking, my dad right now somewhere on the side of a bank catching bluegills or specks or bass.
So does he like the saltwater fish?
Nah, he ain't about that life. Pops want to keep everything he catch. Yeah. He's old school, man. Yeah. If he catch it, he want to kill it and eat it.
Fill the bucket up.
Yeah, he want to fill it up, bro. But I took him saltwater fishing twice. And I was like, nah, Dad, we can't keep that. Nah, Dad, we can't keep that. And then, that's too big. He was like, what's wrong with this one? It's too big. We can't keep it. So now when I asked him to go with me,
he's like, nah.
Let's go.
He's planning out dinner for that full week. He's like, I ain't going to go hungry, so no.
Yeah. But I understand 2 different generations.
Right.
And I mean, even when I used to bass fish, I started bass fishing tournaments.
Right.
We had that same argument. I'll be out pre-fishing for a bass tournament, bring them with me because I like fishing with my dad. And
he's wanting to keep them.
I'm like, Dad, I got to release that. That's money right now.
Yeah. Need to catch it tomorrow.
Yeah, he's like, no, that one going home,
So freshwater to skateboarding to freshwater to saltwater, and then captain. What set you off to becoming a captain? Like, I know you love fishing, but how did that come about? I mean, when did you start guiding?
That's a good question on how it came about, because it just kind of happened. But I started guiding. I got my license. I got my license in 2015, and I was working at Mosaic for 15 years, and I was on a swing schedule where we only work 14 days out of the month. So I had, a bunch of time.
Yeah.
To fish. So those whole 14 days I was out in Tampa Bay trying to learn how to fish. And I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But
as we all are.
Yeah. That's the one thing. If the day you stop learning, the day you become stupid. To me.
Right.
So I was just out there every day, and being out there every day, here's just, the captains and everything was out there. And then they see this guy out there every day. It was like, who is this guy? So my name started making a buzz because I was out there every day. I get it.
Putting the time in.
Yeah, I was putting the time in. I was out there on the water with everybody, and people on my social media was seeing what I was catching, and they'll want to go. And I was like, let's go fishing. It was like a new friend. I'm taking them fishing. And then, some rumors started flying around about me running illegal charters. And as God be my witness, strike me down right now, I've never done that. So
hey, you're catching good fish, getting people out of there. I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure some people weren't too thrilled with potentially losing some business. If you're here's the thing about me knowing you is I've known you a few years now, but I've always felt comfortable talking to you, hanging out.
Yeah.
So that vibe probably goes over really well with clients. I mean, feeling comfortable to fish with instead of having just this guy who thinks he knows everything and he's baiting the hook and throw it there and get mad at you.
Yeah.
I mean, you get there's plenty of those captains who,
and just being humble, man. I've been on trips, and I ain't gonna lie that I've learned some stuff from my clients.
Yeah.
Stuff that they wasn't even trying to do.
Right.
And if you fish, you like me, I know myself, I'm always trying to find a pattern.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out why things are happening just as I'm fishing. So I could see somebody doing something that I would never do. And they catching fish, I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
So back to how I got here. So word kept getting around. And then finally everybody kept saying, hey man, you got to get your captain's license. And I didn't want to do it at first because just I didn't have the time.
Right.
And I thought I couldn't do it. And I knew how much work it is in it. So I had a guy, this guy named Mike, went fishing with me. And when we got finished fishing, he tried to pay me. I'm like, nah, taking no money from you. And he was like, well, give me your email address. I'm like, email address? Like, dude, I don't know you like that, don't be sending me no crazy stuff. So anyway, I gave him my email address, and then a couple of days later, he was like, check your email. I checked it. He signed me up for C School.
Oh, that's awesome.
Paid for it. Paid for the whole thing. So I went to C School, got my license, and my plan still was just to keep working at Mosaic.
Right.
And charter on my 14 days off. Well, that didn't even last a year. I was on vacation in Inglewood, and I remember like it was yesterday. I was sitting on the beach on vacation, and my phone, I booked 5 charters sitting on the beach. And then I was like, man, this is it. It's time for me to make that move. And I called, put in my 2-week notice, and I never went back.
That's awesome.
I was supposed to go back and do the 2 weeks.
A lot of people won't. They don't get to that point. It's like taking that big of a leap. It's scary, I'm sure. That's got to be pretty crazy. You got a steady job for how long did you work there?
15 years.
Oh wow,
man.
So that's a big step. But good for you. I mean, that's tough to do. All right, so now I heard you mention earlier. You said your name was popping up and people were talking about you and whatnot. So that brings me to this question, and I've always wondered this: is where did the name Blackneck Adventures come from?
Okay, it was either at around the same time. It was 2 or 3 people that started calling me that. One, because when I had my bass boat, I had a Dodge sitting on 44s, pulling a bass boat, and I was bass fishing. So, I couldn't be a redneck. So, like, my friends just started calling me a Blackneck. They said I'd done a bunch of country things, redneck things, but it was a black guy doing it. So, once I started saltwater fishing, the one guy I remember that kept saying it every time we was fishing was this kid named Matt Giles. I used to skateboard with him. So he started saying it a lot, and it just kind of stuck. So then years later, people started, they knew me from that. I was like, you know what, I'm going to call my business that. And
I like it. I mean, you know instantly who you're talking about when someone's like, oh, Blackneck uses these rods. It's always like, oh, it's Mike,
Yeah, and then the name is funny. What's best for me is I got my truck wrapped in it.
Right.
I pull up to red lights, gas stations. People that don't even fish will look at it, and they'll start laughing.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, usually I let the window down and they say, man, I like that. And then the next comes, well, what do you do? And then I tell them about fishing, and I gain another client, So make them laugh first, and then
hopefully they catch on.
And then they're on my boat catching
they'll definitely
fish.
remember the name, if anything.
Yeah. So.
Right. Well, so tournament, I mean, so you're, to me, the first person that comes to mind when I think of someone who knows how to throw cast nets, and they're cast net gurus. You're the cast net king. So I know you work with Black Pearl a little bit now and stuff, and you do a lot of, you've done some seminars with George Proveromo. Yeah. So obviously you like live bait. So has it always been the case, or do you throw artificial ever?
I throw a little bit of artificial, but see, with bass fishing, that's all I done.
Right.
And when I started saltwater fishing, I'm like, man, I could just put bait on.
Yeah, let them do the work.
Chill out, put the rod in the rod holder.
Right.
Have a cold beer and just sit back and chill and watch the rod go off. So, and every now and then I throw artificial, but I try not to.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against it.
Well, your day job requires the live bait for the most part.
So. So that's what the majority I do. And I fish a couple of artificial tournaments with Ryan Rickard.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to next is, so live bait pretty much all the time, and then you get asked to fish with Ryan Rickard, or you guys partner up together. And if you don't know Ryan Rickard, that guy's a tournament wizard. I mean, he's always placing, always on fish. One of the best in our industry for sure. So you're fishing tournaments with him, and how hard was that to get into the mindset of you're casting, 100, 500,000 times nonstop all day just trying to catch fish?
Yeah, well, at first,
a lot more effort, I guess. But.
Yeah. So, if anybody that's ever fished with Ryan, you gotta bring your A game.
Right.
He's one of the hardest fishermen I know, and the results shows. And so, but just throwing artificial, I loved it. I'm talking about, and he could tell you, man, every time I caught a fish from artificial, I lit up with this adrenaline, like
satisfying.
Oh man, but not enough to make me want to do it.
Yeah.
On my own, So, And I keep telling myself that's one of the things, I'm going to put some artificials on and throw them. It's just, dude, that bait.
Yeah.
Oh, I just like, I like catching the bait. Yeah. I like slinging
filling
bait.
the live well up.
Yeah. So, but, I like to catch fish, not that artificial don't catch fish.
I mean, honestly, me and Dad, we only fish artificial, other than when I was real little. So it's like, I could tell you so many days where you don't catch anything because, you may not present it perfectly. That color might not be right. So that's tough. To be able to constantly catch fish on artificial takes a lot of effort and skill because you got to know what to switch to when, how to present it different ways. Yeah. Everything affects how they eat there where live bait, you can go just about anywhere. And that becomes more fun, I think, if there's not a tournament, obviously, because you go out, throw some live bait, and you're likely going to catch something. Yeah. You may not catch exactly what you want, but you might catch something. Takes a little bit more, like you said, just chilling. Yeah. Drinking a beer or two, hanging out, like that.
Yeah. And the artificial, dude, it is an art. Yeah. Anybody could throw artificial, but to make that bait mimic and do what it's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And then you got to be able to see. You got to have good eyes. You got to be able to see.
Which I have horrible vision, so that rules me out right there. It's like, where? I don't see it.
Yeah, and Ryan, man, the dude got hawk eyes. I remember.
Yes.
Like, we went fishing. Me and a buddy went fishing with him out to Delacroix. And Ryan kept, saying, look at the fish. Look at the fish. Look at the fish. And me and him was like, finally, I called. We got to the back of the boat.
Ain't no fish. Like,
dude, I got to the back of the boat and I was like, "Hey, man, I don't think he's seeing fish." I said, "You think he's seeing fish?" And my buddy was like, "Nah, man." And then once I started, probably at the end of the trip and the next day, then I started seeing what he was seeing.
Right.
But after the fight, he'd be like, "See that fish? Like 50 yards up there, up under the grass, a little piece of orange." I'm like,
yeah, I'm gonna just trust you.
And then he wouldn't cast, and he'll troll up to it and be like, "That fish right there." I'm like, dang, he is seeing the fish, and he's gifted at that. Yeah. So
you do have, he's done some remodeling stuff for me, and the attention to detail that he shows is absurd. So I can only imagine him fishing like a tournament. That guy's got to be prepped to the T with everything. Yeah, he's good. He's absolutely one of the most attention to detail people I've ever met. Yeah,
OCD.
I didn't want to call him OCD, but it's crazy watching him work. I'm like, I get it now. Now I see why he's so good at fishing those tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, even catching bait, because he could sling a cast and he used bait and he's good with bait, and we'd be during the summertime, sometimes that bait gets small and it gill up.
Right.
Some of it gill up, and me, I worked through it, bro. I was slinging the net with bait slinging all off of it, going in the rough. Ryan will not throw a net if it's got one bait in his net. He will stop and get every bait out.
Every little bit of thing out of it.
I ain't that way.
What happens when he gets jellyfish in it?
Yeah. He loses. So, but I'll throw my net, and dude, once I get what I'm using and I got some baits gilled up, I throw it in the bottom of the boat and deal with it later. Yeah. Do the boat ramp smash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So chartering, one thing I'm always curious about is how do you prep for a charter in the mornings? What's your process when you get loaded up to the boat ramp? You go find bait. What's that all look like?
Yep. So it starts at the house, the night before I get everything ready, and then 4:30, 5 o'clock, wake up, and I have to. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people think I live near the water.
Right.
I live an hour away from the water, so make that drive. That's my time.
So you're a morning person.
Yeah. So I get to the ramp, and I do my routine. I stop and get gas at the same store.
Right.
If you own a boat, you find a store that works, you stick with it.
Yeah.
Going to all these different gas stations, you get bad gas, you ain't gonna know where it come from. So I go to one spot, in case something go wrong, I can be like, "Yo, y'all, something wrong with y'all gas." So then so I get there, and then you gotta go find bait, and you gotta stay on top of it, especially in Tampa Bay. You can get it here one day, go back the next day, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So you go here to get it.
So you got kind of like a plan A, B, C, and D for bait.
Yeah.
Like where they may be moving and stuff. Now, how often does that bait move? I mean, obviously it could be day to day, but is there like patterns, like different times of the year they stay in this area versus this area?
Yeah. So springtime.
Obviously the fish follow them a lot.
The fish follow them or whatever, and then during the summertime, it'll move on the flats, and then it'll move back out to the towers. It'll be at both spots.
Deeper water in the summer.
Deeper water, but you pretty much, the most consistent spot in Tampa Bay would be the Skyway Bridge. Right. It stays there year round. I mean, it'll thin out, but it's during the winter it's there, during the summer it's there. So
that's cool. Yeah. And then clients get there, you got the rods, everything's rigged up, ready to go, and just have a good time. My
clients get there, and when they first get on the boat, that determines to me on how the trip gonna go.
Right.
Because I usually will say a joke. Yeah. And if they laugh, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a good day. If they don't laugh, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, right.
You know, but and then even when they don't laugh, that's besides fishing, trying to catch fish, I'm trying to catch them.
Right.
Now I'm trying to catch them, find out what makes them laugh.
Yeah.
What makes them smile, and you know, so
and hopefully they come back for future trips.
Yeah. And then another tip that I've been successful with getting repeat clients or keeping my clients happy. See, a lot of people think it's about catching fish.
Right.
I mean, anybody could catch fish, just about anybody, and the fishing is just a bonus. So, you know, you got to be able to interact, relate with these people. And on my boat, I have no opinions about nothing.
Right.
Whatever their opinions is, that's my opinion for that trip.
Yep.
So
that's smart, honestly. And that's got to be hard to do. I mean, some people can't do that.
I can, because I look at it like this. They paying me money to get on my boat for 4 or 6 hours. That's their boat.
Yep.
I ain't here to try to change their mind or nothing. So they get on my boat. They said they voted for the guy on the left. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. They say they voted for the guy on the right. Cool. Awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Do people ever press you for opinions on stuff?
Yeah, and I do the small talk, you know, but I never give the opinion. I usually follow it up with asking them, put the question back on them. Then I listen to them, then I'd be like, okay, I need to say this.
Yeah. You kind of know. Yep. You can play both sides. Well, honestly, it's like when you're in business and you've got a million different personalities, you never know who's going to be on your boat. I mean, you never know. I mean, if you say the wrong thing to wrong people, I mean, they could just be stupid.
And honestly, man, I really don't have no core opinions where I think I need to push it on anyone, you know.
And I feel like that. Most people should be that way.
Yeah, it's just like
should be nothing that you believe that you have to shove into anyone
else.
Yeah.
And I haven't lost a friend because what they believe in, who they voted for, or who they date. Nothing.
Next thing I had a question is, I think I saw you post something maybe a month or so ago. Do you still skate at all? Do you ever make time to try to get out there and mess around with it?
Every year I get a skateboard, and I keep that skateboard, and usually until
your knees get tired of it.
Yeah, well, my body will tell me to get rid of it, but I still think I still got it.
Right.
But every year I get a skateboard, and then I end up some point in time giving it away to a kid at a skate park.
That's cool.
You know, and so I get to the park and I like to watch kids, and if I see a kid, he's got a jacked up skateboard, and he's, you know, I'm like, oh man, if I give this kid this skateboard, it might change his life. Because he's struggling right now. So if he get this, he might become better.
Yeah.
Get a sponsorship and be the next big star or whatever. Or whatever. Just make his life easy.
Yeah, or you might just make him happy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they can't afford it, or you know, whatever the reason may be. But that's cool. I mean, impacting people in little ways. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Then when I'm off it, you know, once I give my board away, you know, a couple of days later, I be like, man, I wish I had my skateboard.
Then you get the itch, and then you get the new board, and the cycle continues, right?
Yeah.
All right, so one more question. I know you fish all the time, and you used to skate. Is there any other hobbies that you have?
Grilling.
Grilling?
Yeah, I like to throw down on the grill. As y'all can see, I'm gaining weight.
So I hear you've got some hardware from your grilling, right?
Yeah. So I'm a competitive person. That's the way I was raised. In my neighborhood, you had to be competitive.
Right.
That was just part of growing up in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You either was competitive or you stayed in the house.
Right.
You know, and back in the day, we used to take pride in, like when we did Little League football or Sandlock or anything we did in the neighborhood, we had to pick teams.
Right.
And nobody wanted to be the last one to get picked.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, you know.
It's offensive. It's
it was like, dude.
Me? Him over me? Like, no, and that'll motivate you.
Yeah, I never wanted to be that. And as kids, we was hard. Dude. Like, as kids, we'd be like, no, I don't want him on my team. We got to take him. You know. And now I think back, man, that poor kid.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? But he still just stepped it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to be that kid, so I had to step it up. So that's kind of why I live my life. I'm competitive with myself.
Right.
You know, and I'll be competing against people, and they won't even know it.
It's internal. It's like, you got that guy, you know.
Yeah, it's internal. So I started grilling, and I was horrible at it, and had some friends started teaching me some stuff, showing me some stuff, and I was like, all right, you know, I went to a couple of competitions just to go, not to be in it, and I ate some of the stuff. I'm like, bruh, if they winning with this, oh, I got this. That's what I thought to myself. Yeah. So I got some guys to come help me. This guy named Chris Hartman. He's one of the best grill masters around, and he showed me some stuff. I thought I knew how to barbecue. He came over and was like, no, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. I'm like, wow. Yeah. That's crazy how sometimes you think you know something.
Well, yeah. I mean, I asked you earlier about the ribs, and I started telling you, you're like, no. And I'm like, well, the reaction you just gave me and what the result of what I cooked was, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I get it now.
Yeah. So he came and helped me out, and we entered a tournament in Planet City, and they give a trophy for the best of Planet City. So we got first place in ribs, like third in chicken, I think, or like fourth or fifth in pork, and we bombed on the brisket.
Yeah,
and
that's the hardest one, right?
Oh yeah. And we thought it was good, but you know the judges didn't think that they were, and actually we thought we bombed on the ribs and we got first place.
That's awesome.
And we thought we did good on the brisket and we got almost last. So, but long story short, you know, I got some hardware. I got a trophy for first place ribs.
One and done.
And the best of Planet City, and I retired.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. You know.
Can't beat that.
Going out on top.
Yeah.
So somebody asked me about my barbecuing career. I'm like, I'm undefeated.
Yeah.
The best in ribs.
I got a trophy, and you know, my ribs are the best ribs. They've never been beaten.
Nobody never beat me before for ribs, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, but one day I'm gonna do it again. But right now, it's
focus on the brisket next time.
Yeah, the brisket. I've been practicing on that.
And you got to wonder too, like, what are the judges like? You know, what are they going off of? Like, that'd be so hard because you don't know what they might be looking for, right?
Yeah, and you never.
Flavor wise, I mean, they might want it to be a certain consistency and whatever, but
it all comes down to what table gets your food.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then you might get some people that like it sweet. You might not get some people that like it spicy. Right. You just it's the luck of the draw, I think. But you still gotta know how to barbecue. Yeah. You know
the fundamentals of it.
Yeah, the fundamentals.
Flavor can depend, but
But the key to grilling and getting good at it is just like fishing, dude. Yeah. I grill all the time, you know. So just about.
That's a lot of work too. I mean, like I said, I just did one day on ribs. I'm like, dang, like That's a lot of different little prep and monitoring. And even though, I mean, I was probably doing it wrong, but I'm like, good Lord, man, you got to be on it. You got to be paying attention.
Yep. So and that
makes you appreciate restaurants too, because you're you can go order a slab of ribs and they're on your plate, and it's like, whew, that takes some time and effort if you go do it yourself.
Yep, that's true. But for me, that's my time to hang out by the grill and drink some beer and watch some motocross and have some friends over. So it's the fellowship part of it too that I like. So
So and then I got to lead me to my last question. Obviously, we've been working with you for a few years now, and you're one of my favorite guys because I feel like I said, we can just talk and not have to feel like you're entertaining somebody or like you got to do anything special. It's like, hey, what's up, dude? Yeah. So kind of just so other people know. So what kind of led you to Bull Bay? Like what about us? Obviously, when you wanted to work with us, it's a no-brainer. It's like, we know who you are. Like, you got the following, the social media. I mean, you do an incredible job on that end, and it's like, man, that's pretty cool to see someone like you wanting to work with us and vice versa. So, I mean, what kind of got you to that point?
I'll tell you how I got here. I kept hearing about Bull Bay rods. Right. Bull Bay this, Bull Bay that. I kept hearing it. And it was some credible people about the quality of them. And I've always been a type of person, whatever you give me, I'm going to make it work. Right. because my dad, he had a good job, but it was 6 of us in the house. Right. 8 of us total. Yeah. So whatever we had, we made it work. Right. We didn't always have the best to make it work. We took what we had and made it work. So that's kind of how I was coming into with fishing and I had friends and stuff say, man, you got to try the Bull Bay rods and you got to try them. So I got sponsored by another company and they approached me first. And so I was rolling with them and I had issues with their rods. But one of the guys who brought me to the company had became a friend. Right. And I was only at that company, honestly, because of him. Right. And I was
relationships.
The relationship was there. And some people that was close to y'all was like, hey, man, you ought to leave them. Yeah. It wasn't nobody worked for y'all, but it was some people close to y'all. Right. It was like, hey, you ought to come to Bull Bay. I'm like, no, man, I can't do it. You
got your boy at the
the I ain't for the jump ship, So I told that guy, I say, the day you leave that company, I'm gone. And he was like, he thanked me for it. Yeah. That meant a lot to him. And,
absolutely.
I got a phone call. They let him go. And when they let him go, they let me go too. So
that's crazy.
I was without a home.
Yeah.
And I say, I would rather buy rods, buy a different brand of rods, than to stay there with that company knowing, the guy who got me there was gone. Yeah. And I was struggling with their product. So, and it was Product X. I ain't gonna say no name.
I'm sure a decent amount of people probably know who, but
and
we don't want to talk.
No, I ain't talking bad about them. Maybe they could have better stuff.
It wasn't a good fit outside of the relationship.
It didn't fit for me. So, it was Kent Hickman's birthday. We was at Hooters, and your dad was sitting beside me. And he started talking to me about the rods, and, we talked over dinner we were supposed to be there for Kent's birthday, but me and him was talking.
It turned into a business dinner almost.
Yeah, and anybody know they talk to your dad, he's going to give you.
And once once he's comfortable with you, he's going to mess with you, he's going to make fun, he's going to joke with you, but he's also, he's fun to be around too.
Yeah, and so the only concern, and this is on the record, the only concern I had about Bull Bay when people first approached me, I was like, man, it's a little company out of Lakeland. Yeah. Who's to say if they're going to be here tomorrow? Yeah. I thought that, You
never know, honestly.
You never know, man. And then
we see it every year at ICAST. All these businesses come and go. And
go, man. And so I said, all right, your dad let me try a rod, and the difference was like night and day. And I remember calling Ryan and telling him, like, bro, you was right.
Yeah.
You was so right, dude. Like, a fish could fart by this rod and you could feel it, you know. And then they weren't breaking on me or nothing. And if they did break, it was my fault.
Right.
You know, if I shut it in the car door, they gonna break, you know. So I ain't gonna sit here and say y'all rods.
I mean, they'll break. That's what people don't realize. Like, rods will break. They'll break unexpectedly, but you know, the percent chance of it breaking is much lower than you know, some other brands or rods. Or
and usually I figured out just about anytime any brand rod not any brand, the majority of the good brands, right? If your rod break somewhere down the line, you probably compromise it, but didn't know. Like, you could hit the tower or hit something. It didn't break then, but it's compromised.
I had a guy. This guy. He hit us up one time. Had a broken rod. You know, was all mad about it, and he said it just broke while he was casting a lure. Like, and I'm just like, wow, like that's pretty bad. And I'm like, did you do anything? No, I treat him. I do. You know, the whole spiel. They hand wash every bit of it, whatever. Yeah. And I was just curious. I went on his Instagram and I like saw a picture. And he had like probably a 2-ounce like lead that was like free hanging. So I'm imagining like he's running his boat. That thing's probably bom, bom, bom. And then all of a sudden you go to cast and it snaps in half.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. So I told him, I was like, I saw that. You know, this probably, he's like, okay. But, you know, people break rods, man. They're rough on them.
Yeah. And like I said, man, the quality is no comparison to. And you know, everybody know I ain't a Ricky Bobby type guy. I ain't the one.
You don't have the full jersey with a million sponsors on it.
Use Bull Bay rods or use sucker. No, that ain't me. You know. But the quality, I was like, I'm sold. And then if I like a company, I would tell my friends to go get them. And
that's how it should be, too.
And so all my friends that I've ever told that went and bought them, call me back like, dude, I went and got another one, or I went and got another one. You know, one of my buddies, Steve Wooden, he bought a dozen. He's buying from y'all all the time.
He's been up here at Comber too.
Yeah, and he's all about quality. Right. So, and that just, you know, I really for the first time got to see, you know, the quality side of it versus just somebody giving me something because it's free. Right. You know. And then I learned from that, I ain't gonna lie, from being with y'all, I learned that just because it's free doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather pay something or pay higher price or pay something to get a better rod than to get something free that's gonna break on me. It's gonna make my job hard.
Kind of shows you how much they value what they have too. I mean, obviously, you know, there's scenarios where people, you know, get rods and whatnot, or try to limit that as much as you can. But I mean, some companies, they just droves of rods. It's like, well, how much is that worth to that company? Well, probably not a lot if they're just giving them, hey, you broke 5, here's 10. Like, oh my gosh. It's like, you know, my heart jumps because everything's, when you're looking at the business side, it's like everything's $1. Everything would cost something. So it's like, obviously there's scenarios where that $1's worth, you know, giving to somebody, or like somebody's got a warranty that you think, you know, well, take care of them, we'll swap it, not going to get all crazy on them.
But a good name, a good solid name behind a rod, Bull Bay has that. Like across the board all the way around, you know. That's one thing. Bull Bay credit score is 800.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Bull Bay credit score is,
that's the goal going into it when we started this, is like, I mean, no matter what we do, that needs to be, you know, part of like our business model, our business plan, is like making sure the quality's always good, that people are always, you know, satisfied. I mean, you can't help them catch fish, but you can equip them to land the fish. So that's the thing. So,
and when people get something nice, they'll tell a friend. We'll tell a friend.
Well, people too, I think, you know, paying for a little bit higher quality, they're more likely to take better care of their gear. You know, whenever it's a little bit more expensive, because it's like, well, I don't want to, you know, just throw this around, versus like, you know, an ugly stick that's $80. Yeah. I mean, if it breaks, it breaks. They're hard to break, but if it breaks, it breaks. Some people, you know, there's different levels of fishermen and people, and, you know, I think people take care of it generally whenever it's worth something to them, you know. It makes a big deal. But, Yeah, it's been fun working with you. I wanted to have you on and get one of our first few podcasts, and everybody knows your name and knows who you are, so it's easy for me to just let you kind of be the one that draws in the eyes. You got to get going and doing some more cooking videos too, because I need to watch some.
Yeah.
I need to start taking notes on it. You started telling me some notes in there in the restaurant. I like take my phone out, open the notepad, start jotting it down. It's that type of stuff, man. That's gold. That's knowledge. It's like, dude, I'd look up 1,000 recipes on Google. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But same thing with the cast nets when you do the cast net videos and those instructional stuff. I mean, I think that's what makes you who you are. Is it feels organic and that you're open to teach people and people can learn from you. They don't. It doesn't feel like a sponsored ad, holding the X product has got me this. That's what's cool about it. I personally feel the organic,
that's
letting
the
it
way
be
to
natural
go.
is the best way to do it.
That's the way to go. And it's, to me, even with the whole, when I got into saltwater fishing, I know I'm going back, but when I got into it, one thing I realized that saltwater fishing was like this big big secret society, in which you gotta have some of that, but at the end of the day, if you doing something right, people are gonna they're gonna want to learn, and everybody that knows something learned it from somebody, right? You know what I'm saying?
So blurring out all the backgrounds.
I mean, I would blur out some backgrounds. If I'm fishing,
I know you have to in certain scenarios. If I'm fishing
in my area, I'm burning it out. If I'm in your area, I ain't burning it out.
Right.
But and that's the sad thing too, is like, just people just don't want to put the time in, and that's just people lazy, man. They don't want to go out and go fishing from themselves.
They're networking, and everybody's telling everybody else what to do and where to go. Yeah. I mean, you get a little bit of a friend group of captains and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta have that court. Everybody that fish.
I mean, you can't cover everywhere anyway, so it's like if you've went all over the place and you can't find something, it's like, okay, maybe somebody else can help me out.
And I try to keep my circle small. I rub elbows with certain people,
right? And
they give me stuff, I give them stuff, and
help me help you.
Yeah, I found out, it's one way a lot of times, and then when you see the guys, it's just one way,
right?
They just give me, and they ain't telling you nothing right. Then I know our friendship is just about that.
Yep.
But
what they can get out of you.
Yeah, so I take care of the people in my circle, and they take care of me, and we good. We got that tight little circle. So, and even with barbecuing, all that stuff, man, it's just having good people around you.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. Skateboarding,
fishing, a little bit of hunting and grilling,
barbecuing. I'm learning golf.
Yeah. Oh, you got a whole nother time consumer coming. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm learning golf. Hopefully, next year this time, I won't be on the water. I'll be on the PGA.
So I want to golf with you now while you're still learning. So then I can always, like, you won your cooking tournament. When he's good in a year, I'm like, I beat him.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna ever get it. That's a tough one, man.
It is. I've been playing for about 2 years, and I have it for about a month, and then I don't have it, and I'm wondering why I play, and but it's fun. You don't have quite as much, like you're saying earlier, like the competitive stuff as you get out of high school and where you're playing ball and all that other stuff. It's like, okay, this is something you can do without busting your knees and your back out as much. It's fun. It's addicting.
Yeah,
fishing, golf, all that stuff. I mean, it's fun.
Maybe I'm getting old, but I played yesterday. That was my first time. I've only played golf 4 times in my life. Yesterday was the 4th time, and we paid for 18 holes.
Right.
And on the 9th hole, I'm like, bro, I'm done. I'm done. We did 9 and
mentally done.
Mentally done and everything else. I was like, it's hot. Frustrated. I get a good hit, and then I get 1 good shot and 4 bad shots.
The worst is when you get to the point where you're like 3 good holes in a row, and then one that's like double 2 of the other holes together. It's like, God,
what happened?
Yeah, I'm hitting him good, and I don't know why I'm doing this. And it's always something small. It's crazy.
So
but you gotta love it.
But while we're on there, y'all ever thinking about doing Bull Bay clubs?
Oh man, it's funny.
You can't talk about that right now.
No, it's funny. I didn't even seriously inquire, but like talking with our blank manufacturer, I'm like, you guys ever make like graphite shafts? Like, we used to, and I'm like, do you still done? Heck no. I'm like, why? It's not. Apparently, it's a very difficult thing to do. And,
okay.
It's so much thicker in the materials that they put in those shafts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got to be thick, and they've got to have certain flex, bending, putting spin on it, all this crazy stuff. I'm like, okay, I was just curious. Now, Bull Bay golf, maybe one day. I don't know. Right now, I just got to focus on fishing. Let's see how much better I get at golf in the next year or two, and then I can start thinking about that.
So I love with my rods. Like, I'm old school. I like the full cork handles.
Yeah.
Can y'all put a cork handle on some golf
That's
clubs?
a good question. Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure it could be done. Slide it on there. I don't know how well it'll hold up, but might be, or put it on a putter or something.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
Some Bull Bay
Y'all
putters.
heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is our copyright right here.
Yeah, exactly. Put a pin down right there. TM.
Yep.
So. All right, guys. Well, it was a joy to have you. Captain Mike Goodwine, Blackneck Adventures. If you need a charter, Tampa Bay, that's a guy you need to hit up. He'll put you on the fish, and he's fun. So that's a huge plus. Check us out. Shootin the Bull Podcast on YouTube, bullbayrods.com, Facebook, all that good stuff. Blackneck Adventures on all your social media.
Yes. Yep.
Look them up, follow, like them, and let us know in the comments who you'd like to see on here next.
Yep. Y'all have a blessed day.